That's all I could say. Wrapping up that game of Kaya versus Tuloy. What game, Jago, do you want to break down from last weekend?
I could probably do the game that followed this. So I believe the game was that followed this. Actually, I believe you did it. Actually, no. It was actually could
Because of Cebu.
being in Cebu. Yeah.
Tama.
So actually, I can do the Cebu game. We can go chronologically, but again, Cebu showing that the home court advantage or the home state is real. Um, it must be said it's a favorable run of games, but they take advantage of it nonetheless. You know, you can only play who's in front of you. Actually, for this game, I was kind of surprised that at halftime it was only 1-0. So Mendiola actually kept it scoreless until the 46th minute. But then after that, you know, Cebu just turned on the Jets. They're gaining momentum now. I think, you know, no other team in the PFL that's in this title race can say that they're going to have the home crowd boosting them in this title race and in this race for AFC spots. Only Cebu can say that. And yeah, it looks like whenever Cebu play at home, you know, they have that 12th man. We saw it again there. For Cebu, I was really impressed by Asano, their new striker. Again, they lost Andes in the transfer window, but they've signed really well in that striking position, and he looks to be a real marksman in the PFL. So exciting that, you know, Kaya got that new striker. He's scoring goals. Asano is scoring goals for Cebu. And yeah, the transfer window, by my count, is actually still open. So let's see what these new signings are able to do for these new teams. But for Cebu, they'll be very happy with Asano so far.
Who's gonna burn the midnight oil? No, that's my transfer bigla. So anyway, the scorers in that win of Cebu over Valenzuela PB Menjola. Asano with the brace, and Kazuha Sudo added one, as is the case with Victor Luis and Joshua Brose, and then Joseph Seniza got the clean sheet. They rested Rami Jaridi, but we know what Joseph Senido can do. And I will just say, yung advantage, it's because of the cafe. I will testify myself getting to visit that. I hope you guys get to try that too one day. Before we jump ship to another game, what is interesting, Valenzuela PB Menjola, they only had 15 players on the roster. Kasama na dun starting 11, syempre. And then they only had 4 subs. So I think that's a case also where Cebu just got to push them in terms of stamina, endurance, and we want to give a shout out to Francis Leo Messi official. That's quite a long name, and I think it's a legit name also. So shout out to you. Thank you very much for catching the Amin San Football Show. And on to our other games. We were talking about that, right? There's the Stallion game also versus Maharlika. That was 1-all. It was Charlie Beaton who scored. I mean, yes, Beaton had stints in Stallion, Loyola, and other teams, but fresh off playing for Stallion again, and then he gets to score here. And Beaton saw the highs and lows of Maharlika FC. Actually, he was there in the pandemic in their inaugural squad or the OG squad. And then he's here now in an era where they really just changed up the way they run the team. And it was, who's the goal scorer here? It was Kevin Benemokata, the bulldozer himself, who leveled the scoreline in the 88th minute. Did you expect this game to end as a 1-all draw, Natasha? Just to look at the big picture.
No, if you base it on Stallion's performance going against Aguilas with their new signings, especially having Baji there as that center back, Osman Baji, who I feel is one of the best signings this window, alongside Maluman Soko as well for Kaya. So the French influence of center backs. I feel that they have such a great technical ability to them and such composure when they're able to win the ball and transition them into attacks. Not in this moment, of course, in the what we're seeing in the replay, but if you saw how they played against Aguilas, you'd think that Maharlika have played, I think, 3 games as well, 3 hard games within 10 days. They're tired. They're very tired. They've played Kaya back to back plus one gig, and then they're going against a resurgent Stallion Laguna. You'd feel that Stallion have the advantage. If you base it on the performance from the first round, you know that Maharlika were the better team with both teams when they won 3-0, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me, guys, if I was wrong, that they won 3-0 or 3-1, sorry. 3-1. 3-1 in the first round. So you'd feel that you expected more from Stallion coming into this game. But at the same time, Stallion's always this season has been hot, cold, hot, cold. So you technically at this moment you don't know what to expect from them, what kind of performance they're gonna give you. They're the most inconsistent team in that top seven, and but you'd feel that the happiest team with this score line would actually be Aguilas
That's right.
because all three teams are in the same point zone. So when it's a 1-all between Maharlika and Stallion, you feel that Aguilas would be the happiest of the three. And one thing that I also want to point out is that you also have to give it to Charlie Beaton. Um, sometimes with these players, you know that there's like a chip on their shoulder, especially if they've been in and around the team. He came from Stallion in that first round, went back to Maharlika, and then when you score against your former club, when you score against a team that when you were playing for the team, you didn't get much playing time. You didn't get to see that many minutes. And then to score against them, you could see it in the celebration, how much it meant to him and to the fans as well. But for Stallion Laguna, you also look at their new signings, with the goal as well coming from one of their new signings. So that's one of the strengths of Stallion is they're able to pick up really good players. And you feel that for them it's consistency. For Maharlika, after getting three losses to come away with a point in this game, you think that it's a fair result for the hard fixtures that they've had. Coming into after these hard fixtures, they come into easy fixtures. How about you,
Yeah,
Diego?
so, yes, Jago.
Yeah, this was a great match. Si Clara nag-solo, no? Pero yeah, it was an entertaining
Yeah.
match nonetheless
That was
for
a good
this
game.
one. But yeah, I think from a neutral perspective, it was a fun watch. I will say that both of these teams will probably be happy and frustrated with certain aspects of this match. But I just want to give a shout out also to that new center back of Stallion looks really really good. I remember watching him against Aguilas, and again in this game, although they didn't get to win, he looked really good. He looks like a really good center back, fun player to watch. Yeah, but in general, good game of football. I'd probably both be frustrated with the draw because again, it gives Aguilas room to jump forward. But from a neutral perspective, I'm not going to complain. It makes the league table more entertaining.
Yeah, before I segue to the next game, you know how big Usman Baji is. Also, he made Abe Placito, Mr. Incredible, look normal size because he is normally the biggest guy on the pitch. Yeah, I know Placito is looking very fit also now, but when I saw them march onto the pitch, I'm like, whoa, the biggest guy is not Mr. Incredible. So yeah, a joy to watch. Let's see how things will carry on for Stallion Laguna, as is the case with Maharlika FC. And let's carry on to this matchup between Wanta Gig and Garelli. And looking at the sentiments actually of the community.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are at match number 77 of your Philippines Football League. We are live at the Dynamic Herb Borromeo Sports Complex, and we have the home team, Dynamic Herb Cebu, taking on Tuloy. This is Glenn Casas, who will be describing the action for you today. Another football Saturday for all of us, and this is being broadcast alongside the live games at the Rizal Memorial Football Stadium. So far, this has been quite a really interesting build-up to this match, to the entire league in general. And right now, Cebu is one of the teams who gets to play home turf. This has been one of their moments where they have been showing a lot of grit, a lot of determination to get to the top, and the home game advantage might just be the thing that could ringboard the team forward here. On your screens is the lineups for Dynamic Herb. We have a very similar formation, another four similar to the dominant play that they've had against Viola. They disposed them five lineup as they might be. We have a player to watch soon. It's quite interesting because key in the starting. Sano has been the point man for Dynamic. They have been able to really just and right now, there you go. So we have our player to watch in Kaito Asano here, and one of them has been key to the success in the attacking front of Dynamic Herb Cebu because they have been able to. But before more detail here, we do have our coach interview for Cebu.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our third home game against Tuloy FC. We'll give you a good game to expect another 3 points, especially in our home game. So we welcome all the injured players. They will show up today and then we'll give you a good game. So hope you enjoy. Keep supporting us. Tara Cebu.
Indeed. And again, we cannot emphasize enough the importance of the home crowd right now for Cebu. Although right now on your screens, it does appear that the crowds are still just getting into their seats. This has certainly been one of the hostile environments. Get back to where we were discussing. One of the key players to watch for Cebu right now would be Kaito Asano. He has been the tip of their dagger, the tip of their spear, and he has been point for recipient of crosses and 8 scores, has already netted 2 goals in the previous game alone. So it would be quite interesting to see how his build-up would go from there. Now, aside from that, there are also some players in the personnel right now that were not in the previous game. Again, part of not just shuffling the team, but at the same time, getting the best brand of football that Cebu has to offer. And now we go over to the other side of the field with Tuloy, the visitors, and still fielding, interestingly enough, the same or mostly the same type of players that they have. But there is one key missing person right now. The influential John Halike is currently out. And if you could remember in the previous game, he had been out due to injury. So they have to make adjustments based on how he is going. And of course, before we get into more of the details here, we also have the head coach of Tuloy with some words as well.
Hi, good afternoon everyone. I'm Jason Turco from Tuloy FC. So, first of all, yung expectation namin this game against Cebu, it's not easy for us, especially some of our players already injured from the last game. Then, same instruction kung paano namin nilaro yung last game namin siguro against Kaya. Same instruction lang, wala namang bago. So, as much as possible, we will play like Tuloy FC way, then we are trying our best to perform very well against Cebu. Yun lang po. Thank you.
And that was the coach of Tuloy. So far, the assistant coach rather, because we have been privy to, or we have been shown the top quality of football both teams have to offer. And Tuloy has so far been one of those that's been sticking to their guns, sticking to their principle. And currently, one of the players to look out for would be Yasten Lupango. Now, quite interestingly, while Halike has been one of the key players to really influence the tip of the spear for Tuloy, Lupango and company has been the type who delivers the ball directly. And right now, Lupango is one of those key players that brings the ball from defense to midfield. One of the box-to-box type of players that we believe
Hello?
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let us welcome the teams of Tuloy FC and our dynamic Herb Cebu FC.
If you're just tuned in, this is live from the Cebu Dynamo complex. This is Glenn Casas bringing you the action alongside Jing Hamlang, who will be with us in a moment. Our match officials for this afternoon, Linjun Talaver, assisted by Ian Christopher Salon and JP Villaluz, with the fourth official, Hasper Gerakman. So back to the tape here, it would be quite interesting to see the kind of formation that they're doing. Still the same dominant 4-4-1 that Dynamic Herb has been keen in doing, and that has been leading to one of those clashes in midfield, but mostly they love to just take it on the wing and just deliver that ball into sweet spots. And that's where point man, that's where target man Asano would really shine in just taking that ball in good positions and just driving it into space or taking a shot at goal himself. But on the other side, we have Tuloy, and they have not really made a lot of changes, save for, of course, replacing the missing personnel. It's quite important to note that one of their signatures is really just to keep the ball below, keep the ball around, crisp passing. That's one of the signatures that they've had. If they don't want to rely on keeping the ball in the air because they know where they're used between the men in red, that is the home team Cebu, and the men in white, that is Tuloy, who will be kicking us off in a few seconds. Really just making sure everything is at the ready. Again, points are up for grabs for both of these teams. For one, it would be a guaranteed position up in the top four. Currently, a better position by being top two. That would be the other hand, cementing their position, but they build their own identity, or not identity, but at least for them, identity work for the team. Ball goes out into play, and Tuloy will now have a goal kick. Well, very uncharacteristic of them to just take it in the air. And right now, Cebu is taking that advantage to them. Ball is back on Tuloy's side. They were able to nick it back, and the turnover in possession commences. But Cebu takes it down midfield. Tuloy opts to play it out.
First corner kick opportunity here for Cebu. Glad you could join us. Jing Hamlang and Glenn Casas calling the action. One player just in front of Tambilawan, and the rest near the penalty spot. Not the best of deliveries. There's going to be a whistle blown. The play will be pulled back inside the box.
Tuloy is really looking to just deliver that ball, and Tambilawan is the type who really does have cannon for legs, but not going for the short passing, I see.
Chance here for Cebu. A real opportunity, and that one goes over the bar. Fantastic chance. Just had the keeper to beat, but could not keep it on the goal frame. And he's going to want that opportunity back. Fantastic chance for Kazuha Sudo, who's got an opportunity to impress this afternoon. Tuloy needing a moment to settle in. And looking a little out of sorts at the moment, particularly at the back. Tambilawan now with another moment that he has to deal with, not taking any chances. And Cebu have had a fantastic record since returning to their home ground. They swept Army aside, did the same to Valenzuela PB Mendiola, and now they're off to a fast start once again here up against Tuloy. Into the box it goes from Ramos. Cross to the opposite side. Gutierrez will square it, and that's a great chance. Again, it goes begging. Well cushioned on the chest. The left-footed strike. It goes wide. This time from Kaito Asano. The Japanese pair with some golden opportunities that they've let slip.
And so far from that corner opportunity, you could really notice that none of the Tuloy players was even able to defend that properly.
And really, they need to find their footing here, Tuloy. 5 minutes gone, it's been all Cebu, and there is the opening goal, curled in to the far post. It's a fantastic finish, and the home side are on the board. Looks like Kaito Asano able to curl that one in off the inside of the post and into the back of the net. Fantastic finish from the young Japanese
You
attacker.
can see really just using their advantage. They're just not giving Tuloy the opportunity to touch the ball, taking it up in the air. Long range shot that's really difficult.
It's been a very troubling start here for Tuloy. In fact, all season long, it'd be difficult to spot a game where they've had a more difficult opening to a match. They've hardly been able to string together two passes, and they've been under an extreme amount of pressure. Tuloy penned in at the moment, and they're giving the ball away in a dangerous area. Another opportunity, and it is a second for Cebu. Handed a gift, and they took it with both hands. Kaito Asano with a brace just 7 minutes in. It was given away by who looked like Cyril Saud. And you can see there, really well finished, just dinked over the goalkeeper. Rather uncharacteristic from Tuloy to be giving the ball away so cheaply. And in the crucial moment, he held his nerve. Kaito Asano puts in another one. Again, the great form at the Dynamic Herb Sports Complex continues here for Dynamic Herb Cebu. They really are something else at home. Tuloy getting numbers back. Flirting with danger here, but they've given it away actually. Sudo, opportunity to turn, and it's going to be a foul on Harry Nunez. Or rather against Nunez. Kasuha Sudo called for the foul. Tuloy can breathe a brief sigh of relief. Tuloy, it seemed for a moment that they would have a rare opportunity to get into Cebu's half. That call goes against them, and now the pressure will continue. Cebu once more inside the box. Kapawa gets it over to the opposite side. Corsame rise the challenge. He's unable to connect. Tuloy looking to play quickly. It's a lovely switch of play, but Corsame is quick to close down the danger as John Lawrence Binalong was quickly making ground.
Tuloy has been the type to utilize their speed down the wing to take surprise attacks and such, but right now it's really just Cebu covering their spaces and preventing anything meaningful coming in from Tuloy.
But it looks like a foul has been called as the arm was raised on Binalong. So may chance dito ang Tuloy to finally create a bit of trouble for the Cebu back line through this set piece. Harry Nunez to take. Tyrell Sawit, also another option, the left-footed one. There's four lined up inside the box. You wonder if Sawit's going to take this one on his own. Jeridi lining up his wall. Sawit takes it, and that's going to go over the bar. Jaime Rosquillo in the middle of defense alongside Demiroglu today. Calmly dealt with by the center back. Rosquillo can push forward. And gets it out wide. Brose. It's lovely football. Gutierrez. Chance from outside the box. I think that was Glenn Ramos with the shot. And Cebu looking solid at the back and fluid going forward. Everything going right for the side of Coach Glenn Ramos at the moment.
We've said it time and again that Dynamic Herb Cebu Sports Complex is really a formidable home for them. So any team here would have that intimidation factor.
And certainly it feels like it's having that effect on Tuloy, because this looks like An uncharacteristic performance from them so far.
And again, on a tactical perspective, you could really know the frequent low balls that Tuloy usually employs is not present right now.
They are going quickly forward. Jiridi off his line quickly to snuff out the danger. Off to the right flank now. Again, the connection is just looking very, very good right now for Cebu. And they're going to win a corner kick for their troubles.
Again, another good chance for them to pose on visitors right now with just the sheer height of the team.
Beyond everybody inside the box, and that will go out harmlessly for a throw-in. Nice little hesitation, able to get past his man. Nunez under pressure from Ramos. Look to switch the play or get it forward quickly. Demiroglu quick to anticipate the danger. Gadia thought it was a Cebu throw. Instead, Tuloy tried to play quickly.
I think in Tuloy's attempts to do things as quickly as they can, they have actually given Cebu more opportunities to turn over in possession really quickly.
Nabasa yung intention to get it over to the left side, as Kaito Asano was trying to get on the shoulder. And that is a poor pass from Kent Talam. Brose. And that's going to be much too heavy. And it's out for a goal kick. And Tuloy again in danger here of shooting themselves in the foot. Just been a little lackadaisical with their passing. It's been causing issues for them. Cebu more than happy to take advantage. Gutierrez keeps it moving. Kapawa. Looking to see if there's an opening on the opposite side. A good cross in. Bilawan getting involved. Tuloy not out of the woods yet. Another opportunity perhaps here for Cebu. And that forces a stop from the goalkeeper.
Tambilawan, an interesting new signing for Tuloy. And for the last few games, he's actually started from the bench. This is the first time, I believe, that he is starting off as a starter.
After victory in their contest against the Army, they took quite a heavy one against Kaya, losing 9-1. Perhaps Tambilawan now getting this opportunity to impress here in Cebu in a difficult ground. And so far, it's not going the way he would have liked. Already 2 down here. Although things have settled down a little bit for Tuloy in the last 3 to 5 minutes. That being said, the pressure firmly on the visitors as Cebu have looked extremely confident. Jaride has had very little to do, and Tuloy uninterested in pressing high.
Could be possible from the relentless pressure coming from Cebu that Tuloy don't want to open up much.
Gutierrez wanted to have a swing at it. He's rather curious as to why he's been called for a foul, but the foot was high. Don't think any contact was actually made though. Tuloy obliging the high press, and again unable to navigate the pressure.
I think if there has something, it has something confidence right now, because that was a completely unforced error right there.
Gutierrez. Talam clears. It's only half cleared. Gadya sends it back in. And it's into the hands of the goalkeeper. Tambalawan interested in playing quickly. He's made a great spot onto the left side. Sawat cutting in. Goes down. He's looking for the penalty. Referee Linjun Talaver uninterested.
And that's one of the strong points coming from Tambilawan. He's one of those quick reflex keepers that you'd see, and mabilis talaga siyang mag-forward even without the ball, so you could see a lot of action coming from him for sure.
Very interesting to see if there was contact there inside the box on Cyril Saud. Well, that was a quick glimpse on what Tuloy is capable of in a quick transition. Halfway through this opening half, Cebu firmly with the advantage, not just in the scoreline, but in the way this match has been playing out.
The 2 goals. Cebu is still taking possession whenever they try to move from the to the final attacking third, and they are even having difficulty getting it across the midfield. But so far, the back line has shown some stability now.
Justin Nabango. It's back to Capistrano. And this is more like the Tuloy FC we know. Saud stops on a dime. Has it taken away. Gamboa unable to progress the ball further. But promising from Tuloy. Signs of life mula sa visitors natin.
And again, it's always that low passing that we really want to see from Tuloy, because that's their signature. When they keep the ball low and they keep the passing tight, it's bound to lead to some beautiful movements such as that.
Willie Kapawa. It's been a really good addition to this Cebu side. A really steadying force in midfield. And lots of room on the left side. Joshua Brose measuring it. He's going to pull the trigger there. And did not get the power or the accuracy to really trouble Tambilawan. Capistrano gets it back to Talam. It was actually touched by a Cebu player. But there's been an awful amount of time for Tuloy on the ball inside their own half. And it's been a real struggle venturing into opposition territory.
I think they were trying their best to just keep it away from Cebu, the ball. And in the end, they kind of panicked too much to simply create unnecessary errors for them. So now it looks like they've finally found some stability here.
Trying to create an opening on the right side. Ramos opting to go short. Gadia going backwards. And Gadia in a rather unfamiliar position. Playing on the right side rather than centrally, in a role that he built his reputation. It's a great challenge to deny Brose. Rosquillo chasing this one down and keep the momentum going for the home side. As we close in on the half-hour mark, it seems as if Tuloy have been able to weather the storm after conceding two very, very early. Gorsame, lovely reverse ball. Trying to sneak his way through was Kazuha Sudo. Harry Nunez got past one but couldn't get past the second, and he seems to have gotten hurt on the play. Demiroglu going quickly. Spot is well spotted. Crowding inside the box, and that long-range effort just wide of the post. Chance from Daniel Gadia. It's all clogged up inside the box. Gadia just outside. Free to pull the trigger. And it looked like it did not get a touch from the goalkeeper. It's been quite a bombardment from Cebu in this first half. Rose, lovely little leave back here for Gutierrez. Good touch. Actually, a bit too heavy in the end. Kazua Sudo arriving inside the box. Great link up between Brose and Gutierrez. Nunez hasn't had an opportunity to really leave his impression in this match, and he's given it away there. It's a really good chance for Brose. He's gotten that one on target and has forced a great save from Christian Tambilawan. It's a stiff arm to keep that one out. Corner kick now for Cebu.
That was a really spectacular save coming from Tambilawan there. And so far, they've been able to nullify most of Cebu's attacks because I feel that Cebu has really been just strange and has been giving it a little bit of experimentation in front of goal right now.
God, they will let this one run. Osame goes long, spots the run. Great ball into the box, and it is a third for Cebu. Lovely work. Great build-up as Glenn Ramos fires it into the back of the net.
Glenn Ramos
Raito
just
Asano
running into
out
that
wide.
space.
Look at this. Puts it on a plate for Glenn Ramos to rifle into the back of the net. It's been a clinic so far. And Cebu just keep on rolling. And the situation goes from bad to worse for Tuloy. Just as they were starting to find their footing in the game, able to repel Cebu's attacks, they were cut open in quite some fashion. Tuloy with a rare opportunity here to ping this ball around inside the opposition half. But that being said, Cebu's so quick to push them back. There's been a real intent and a real intensity to Cebu's defensive posture.
Well, on the flip side, you could really see the movement coming from Tuloy now with a little bit more intention to rattle the Cebu defense.
At the moment, Cebu just looking untroubled. They've had an answer for everything Tuloy has thrown at them. And almost the fourth for Cebu.
Again, they'll come from the air. Look at that. Nobody there to just even be in the right space to receive it.
There's potentially the goal that would have sealed a hat trick for Kaito Asano. Fantastic work to get out of that tight space. Tuloy playing a little too quickly for their own good.
Little lack of physicality coming from Tuloy there to just keep that ball, but they do win that free kick with another opportune position here.
Chance to threaten from this wide free kick. They try to go short on this one. Demiroglu gets some distance on the clearance. That's well dealt with. Nunez can turn. Good intention with the touch, but Demiroglu quick to recover, and now Brose is off to the races. He's got Gutierrez in support. Rose uses him as a diversion and then pulls the trigger. What a goal! Joshua Brose with a rocket to make it 4-0 to Cebu.
Just virtually unguarded there when he was making that run. You could see that amount of space. He was still being closed down, but there, he just pulled the trigger, got everything in line. Another goal.
You can see his teammate could do nothing but bow in appreciation of that strike, from the use of the run to distract the defense, cutting inside, to the technique of the shot. Everything was on point there for Joshua Brose. A thing of beauty to make it 4-0 for Cebu. And they are in cruise control here with 5 minutes to go in the first half. Let's have a look at this long-range effort. And not of any trouble to Jaridi, but signs of life from the visitors. And what has otherwise been a masterclass from Dynamic Herb Cebu.
And this is where Cebu has to be a little bit careful, because despite the fact that they are currently in a commanding position, it's been known that Tuloy tends to really just pull the rug from under your feet with surprise goals.
Demiroglu's timing impeccable. It looked like the flag was up anyway. Cebu just continuing their perfect run of games so far since their return to the Dynamic Herb Sports Complex. They do seem to kick up a gear when they're in front of the home fans and enjoying home comforts. Nunez could not thread the needle. Sudo's pass is cut out. And Tuloy can play quickly. It's onside. And Jaridi with a crucial intervention. It looks like Jaime Rosquillo has been hurt on the play. Rosquillo there, you can see as he was trying to stop, it looked like he tweaked his knee a little bit, and that's going to be rather disappointing. But that happened after the fact that the player was well through for Tuloy. Let's have a look at it here. Said Sao just couldn't get it around Jaridi. And you can see there, medyo awkward yung pagkaikot ni Jaime Rosquillo. You hope it's nothing serious, as he's had his bouts with injury in the past.
And again, it just goes back to where they would really get surprised out of opportunities from nowhere coming from Tuloy. I think they found Sao there at just a great opportunity. Just unfortunate that he couldn't do any more.
And we've been seeing more of this, Glenn, from Tuloy, where they've been happy to play more quickly going forward without having to go through the midfield. A more direct approach has yielded quite a few chances for them. We saw it in effect there.
So far, it has shown a little bit of stability up the front end, but still the back end is finding it really difficult to just keep on thwarting these attacks from Cebu.
Loose touch. Process slowing things down. Gadia looking for room to pull the trigger. It's gonna be a corner kick.
I think so far one of the flavors of Cebu for this particular game is that they really just love the crowd inside of the box, where they would kind of draw some confusion within the defenders of Tuloy, and then someone would just make a run for the open space that they'd leave.
Demiroglu forcing a stop. And Tambilawan forced into action once again. Headed down into the ground. Tambilawan able to get a hand to it. There we see it. Tambilawan's quick reflexes denying a fifth. The pressure continues from Cebu. Into added time now. It's a deep delivery.
I think that's also a sign that Tambilawan's aggressiveness is still getting a little bit some advantages to them, that those kinds of opportunities can be denied. So far, though, it's like that Cebu could really just find another avenue of attack, and they could just exploit that space that they always get.
There's going to be plenty to be talked about at halftime, particularly in the Tuloy dugout. Very little has gone right for them in this opening half. We have not had the pleasure of seeing Tuloy's signature football in action, at least not for prolonged periods in this match. And on top of that, Cebu are in a very commanding position. Certainly something needs to change for Tuloy if they're going to get back into this match. Sawat able to skip past one, and that should be it. Halftime whistle mula kay Linjun Talaver. And it was the perfect half of football for Dynamic Herb Cebu. Got 2 goals early to set the tone, and got a third, and then a beauty from Joshua Brose to cap off a very one-sided half of action. It finishes 4-0 after 45 minutes. We head into the halftime break, and we'll be right back. Second half action just around the corner at the Dynamic Herb Sports Complex in Cebu, where the home side are enjoying a fantastic platform from which to build, up 4-0 against Tuloy. Two great goals from Asano and a great goal from Glenn Ramos and Joshua Brose, putting in a fantastic exclamation point to cap off what was a very resounding performance. Tuloy will have had a lot to discuss at the break. Plenty needs to be done to get them back in this contest. And meanwhile, Cebu have made some changes to their lineup. It looks like Leo Makiling is in the match. Kazuha Sudo has made way, and Vitwala has checked in as well for Joshua Brose, who had a very good outing on the left flank. Cebu got off to a very hot start in the first half. They'll be hoping to be able to replicate that here in the second. Currently, Cebu looking to improve their goal difference. They are third in that department, just behind Taguig and Kaya FC. When things get really tight at the top of the table, goal difference could certainly play a part. Tuloy able to stop that counterattack. Transition a little too quick, even for themselves.
So far, Cebu has really continued to show their dominance in the ball. Whenever they have possession, it's really quite an easy walk for them right now.
It's been a very busy day for Tambilawan in goal. Actually, you wonder what the scoreline would look like without his efforts in between the sticks.
One of the things with the Tuloy keepers is that they will most likely face a huge number of shots. So it's kind of like an actual not really a practice anymore for them, but a must win or a must save situation.
Sawat breaking free, and that is Tuloy's best attempt in this game so far.
Out finding that gap between the two center backs, hoping to get the keeper off his line.
Quickly, Cebu have gone down the opposite side and have won a corner kick. towering men make their way into the box. Not the best of deliveries. It's good to see Jaime Rosquillo still fit to play. Long range effort just wide of the mark.
And again, Cebu is just doing the same thing that they've been doing from the first half, trying their luck within inside the box, trying to crowd it out. And if they can't find an opportunity, they just lay the ball aside for another player to just take a smack.
Nunez knocking it on. Space on the left side. That's well defended in the end by Rosquillo. Demiroglu under pressure. Finds the gap. And Gadia can get it upfield. Tuloy now starting to find a bit of joy on the ball. Sawit goes backwards. Grizola. It's a loose pass that stifles that attack. Makiling. He's going to have an entire half of football to impress. Of course, these matches, a great opportunity to impress Glenn Ramos on the bench and to provide stronger arguments for more playing time.
With the exodus of some key players in the Cebu lineup, Leo Makiling has been the type to step up to the plate, and so far, with the number of assists that he's bringing, he is certainly one of those really pushing for more playing to really be a starter in big games.
Certainly his contributions to minutes ratio is quite impressive. Tambilawan under pressure can only clear it to a Cebu player. Now the red shirts with an opportunity from distance, and it is the 5th goal for Cebu. Fantastic shot from outside the box, and that is a brace for Glenn Ramos.
Again, with the chance to cock that in and go for power. And you saw that Tambilawan was able to get the trajectory right. He did get to put a glove on, but there's just so much power behind it. It just bounces off and into the back of the net.
Fantastic view of that. As you can see, Ramos with all kinds of room. But he still needed to pick out his spot and get his technique precise. And he was able to do both things expertly well. And just like in the first half, Cebu off to a great start here in the second.
Just when you think that Tuloy was starting to get a foothold here, it really is starting to, show that they're having some difficulties just chasing down the Cebu players when they're in a role like that. And they still haven't been able to figure out getting that space closed in when they put the ball outside the box, where another Cebu player like Glenn Ramos would be just waiting.
I think this is something that sometimes we forget about Tuloy, that they are a very, very young team and still in the early stages of their development, but such has been the level of performances that they've been able to showcase with some good sides in the Philippines Football League that perhaps our expectations have risen quite a bit. And this type of match perhaps showcases sort of the aspects of their game that still needs a lot of refinement. And Cebu have done an incredible job in exposing those weak points today. This has been clinical and devastating from the home side. Ball into the box. That one safely into the hands of Tambilawan. Knocking that one forward, but really nobody there for Tuloy. Willie Kapawa. Makili. Just beyond the reach of Saidal South there. Couple players inside the box waiting for that. Neither able to put the finishing touch on it.
This is one of the signature movements coming from Cebu, just laying that ball from the wing. But the finishing wasn't there for Leo Makiling. He had a great opportunity to just tap it in.
Great work from the substitute Vituala on that left flank. Goes to show the depth of the squad as well. Brose extremely effective on the left flank in the first half. Vituala now getting off to a good start here in the second. Nunez on the turn. Lipango. And that one will not trouble Juridi at all. It's a missed clearance. Asano is trying to caress that into the back of the net under a bit of pressure from Kent Talam.
Yeah, miscued the timing of that, but the shot itself, the quality, it was quite difficult to perform under the circumstances.
Just about gets there to Harry Nunez. He sees the run, delays the pass. And showed a little bit too much to Willie Kapawa. And that could be something that they talked about during the break, was holding on to possession a little bit more and not being so eager to open up Cebu. Could certainly use a bit more control in this match.
And the pacing from Tuloy right now, they do appear that they've dialed it down a bit when they have the ball now.
Opportunity for Cebu, and it is the 6th goal for them. Incredible work to skip past his man. And he gets his hat trick. Kaito Asano with his 3rd and Cebu's 6th.
At the start of the game, we told the viewers to watch this man for Cebu, and he certainly wasn't disappointed. That was quite a solo goal that you can see. It was not real easy because he had to drive it inside the box, find the space, pull the trigger before being closed down by the defense, and still be accurate about it.
Fantastic finish from the Japanese attacker. And his body shaped such that he was hinting that he might go far post, but he smashed it in the front post. Tambilawan given no chance. And after a rough start to his career in Cebu, having not been able to really make an impression against Philippine Army, this has been a coming out party of sorts here for Asano. One more look at this. Vitualia trying to sneak that one near post. Glenn Ramos would have preferred that had been squared. Another opportunity here. And on the second attempt, it ends up in the back of the net, but it's waved away by Lin Jun Talaver.
That's a relief there, just looking at the player going up. But you're right, then the second attempt came about. This is a better view right here. I think that there was some unfortunate contact already.
A play being pulled back to an earlier incident. Otherwise, that isolated passage of play actually looked legitimate from Vitualia.
I think in the last 5 minutes, the midfield of Cebu has been able to really just cover up the space. There hasn't been much of an attempt or even an intrusion on the final attacking third from Tuloy so far.
Gadia getting forward. Able to get the cross in. And that will be safely into the hands of Tambilawan. Nunez could not get to that. Corsame. Tuloy being suffocated of possession. Demiroglu wins that one.
Movement from Corsame earlier, you could just hounding the ball to whomever it falls through. It's like he's got a big area of responsibility, and I think that's one of the reasons why Tuloy has been finding it hard to find the passing lanes.
They've certainly been struggling with the intensity of Cebu. They've been quick when they have the ball. They've been very quick to close down the spaces when they're on the defense. Tuloy now trying to play themselves out of trouble here. Palam. Back to Tambilawan, and it's all very dangerous here for Tuloy. Kapawa gets it to Gutierrez, and it's another one. A fantastic finish from outside the box. Marino making it 7 for Cebu.
That was really just unfortunate, with Talam opting to pass it to Tambilawan, who mispassed that ball, and all Cebu had to do was take advantage of that gap. Let's have a look at that. Reno just finds that space and puts them out of their misery yet again.
Such was the quality of that strike from Reno Gutierrez that Tambilawan was actually positioned well for that, but it was just so clean and hit so strong that he had no chance to react. Quality finish from the midfielder. And there have been some really good finishes from the home side today. Player down with cramp now for Tuloy, which is going to be an addition to their misery, as it's a very light squad that has made the trip to Cebu. Not a lot of options on the bench.
I guess you could consider that as one of the advantages of Cebu being a home ground. I think they also enjoyed that similar advantage when they went up against Mendiola with the last time that the last time Mendiola was there, they only had four players in their squad. So I think the battle of attrition starts at that level.
Looking at the bench, we've got John Razel Aguila, Romy Dayandayan, and Marcus Toves. And you've got Michael Antilo Jr., but he's a goalkeeper. So not a lot of options here for Tuloy. But it looks like they're going to be forced into a substitution here with 25 minutes to go. And meanwhile, Cebu readying a pair of changes of their own as Eric Orale is coming on. And it looks as if Kore is going to be introduced as well.
I think it's more of a sign that Cebu isn't going to let off despite the overwhelming advantage, with Kore being one of those dynamos up front. And one of the aggressive players who loves to chase the ball as well, doing his defensive duties up high.
It's going to be Gadia who makes way. So quite a squad that Cebu has at the moment. Despite the exodus that they experienced, they have recruited well to ensure that the squad still has a lot of options.
That's showing their intent to really challenge for the top spot this year as well.
So there is going to be a change in goal for Tuloy as Michael Antillo Jr. makes his way to take Tambilawan's spot. So it's Jaime Rosquillo who's also given way for Cebu. There will be a shuffle at the back.
Substitution for Tuloy FC. Player number 6, Cyrus Gamboa, replaced by player number 42, Marcus Toves.
So Marcus Toves has checked in for Cyrus Gamboa, who is injured. And there is confirmation now of that change in goal. Ball makes its way to Grizola. Pass was easily anticipated. Toves now getting involved. Toves looking to navigate the left side. Kore now. Getting it out wide. Leo Makili. Got a lot of room to take on his man. Finds a bit of room. Tuloy can counter here. It's a loose touch.
Cebu is not in a hurry to just push people forward now. Unlike the earlier few minutes, they're just really easing the movement in and getting people in place before they make those passes. And that is quite scary because they're just taking their time to pick apart the defense here.
Cantaram under pressure, and it's yielded possession. Final 20 minutes of this match. The result a foregone conclusion, but perhaps the final score yet to be settled. It's been mostly one-way traffic. The Tuloy have been finding their moments, spending perhaps a bit more time in the opposition half in this second period. Meanwhile, Cebu, having made a host of changes, will have players on the pitch who are eager to impress.
And it's also at this late stage of the game, historically, that Tuloy usually starts to show some more cracks in the armor because they appear to have fitness issues, especially coming into the late stages of the game where players would start getting cramps or get slow.
Nunez popping it over to the left side. It's been that kind of game for Tuloy. Perhaps that little sequence there is summing things up for them. Just the usual tidiness in possession lacking on this afternoon. See the intensity from Demiroglu. Despite the scoreline, he is right on top of him in that situation. Toves not given any room.
And I was thinking Toves really had the chance there in the space.
Nunez taking a pop. That one he will not be remembering. That one blazes over the mark. Pass is cut out. This could be a moment for Tuloy. But again, the recovery is quick from Corsame.
Whatever opportunities Tuloy have right now, it's the speed of recovery from Cebu that keeps cutting it open.
Into the box, and that one comes off the crossbar. And that one, another opportunity for Cebu, almost an eighth. Kore holding up play at the edge of the box. Gets it out wide. Touched on in the middle of the pitch. Jaridi calmly deals with the situation. Or they can spread the play over to the left side.
It's like what you
Reno
said
Gutierrez.
earlier. There's still some lack of maturity in this team that you can see when it comes to the consistency, because there are some flashes of good football coming from Tuloy, but most of the time it's unforced errors.
Antilo coming out to collect that. And speaking of unforced errors, that one given away rather cheaply. Cebu now can turn the screw once more. What has been another commanding display in front of their home fans. Makiling's ball. And that one manages to stay out of the back of the net.
From our angle, I thought it was gonna get own goal.
Into the box it goes. Cebu have numbers. The shot was blocked, but the attack not yet over. Long range effort, and that one is just wide. Maharlika Pawa getting involved in the attack.
Cebu just loves those extra numbers at the edge of the box outside, waiting for the perfect back passes. And Kapawa there had a good chance because there was some space in front of him.
Been a tough day at the office for the visitors. Reno Gutierrez will be replaced with a goal to his name as Cabral checks in his place. Chance here for Tuloy. And again, Jeridi so quick off his line.
Jeridi
John
just wants to
Lawrence
keep that
Binalong.
clean sheet.
So close there, Glenn. You're right. Rami Jeridi is going to be desperate to keep this clean sheet, but look at this pass. You see Orale wrong-footed, but Jeridi was so quick to recover.
We've seen that gap opened up about 2 or 3 times already, and so far, I think Tuloy sees it. It's just getting that right pass in between the two center backs or when they're off position is a more difficult ask.
Cebu getting numbers forward. Lovely reverse ball, and it's a chance here. Saved by Antilo.
Alcari was going to take that and keep that goal. Antilo's reaction was superb there. But it was the movement coming from Cebu when they wanted to shift gears quickly. They see a lot of Tuloy players off position, and they know that that single pass would have opened them up, and it did. It's just the finishing.
Makiling going to take this one left-footed. Plays it short. Gets it back. Delivery into the box. Will yield another corner kick.
If I'm not mistaken, I don't think Tuloy has ever had a corner one in this game throughout.
You might be right, Glenn. I can't recall one. They've certainly had to defend quite a few. Delivery into the box, headed away. Antilo getting a touch to it. Nunez can get some distance on it. Crisis, or at least the danger averted momentarily.
I guess that's the difference between the goalkeeping style of Antilo and Tambilawan. Antilo would really just love to take those big leaps and punch the ball away.
Corre puts it in. Tidy finish from the substitute makes it 8 for Cebu.
Let's talk about that pass. That was so well played. Right in front of Corre. All he had to do now was just adjust, take his time to take that shot because he knows that there's this split second of space between the before the center backs could sandwich him.
Cebu on quite a roll, not just in this game, but in their most recent matches. Won 10-2 against Philippine Army, 5-0 against Mendiola 4 days later. And now here they are against Tuloy. 8 goals ahead. And it looks like they're hungry for more. Taking it first time. You can see there's a real hunger to add to these 23 goals they've scored in the last 3 outings.
And to be fair, goal difference right now, especially if they want to keep it going at the very top, I think it would count, especially going into the third round where everything's starting to get a little bit tight for the top 4.
100% going to be a factor in the title race. And Cebu seem to be on a mission to really improve their goal difference in a big way. They're going to be happy that they're keeping this clean sheet intact at the moment as well. Back wide. A lot of heat on that one. It's going to be a goal kick.
But it was really a difficult angle for the winger to just find someone in that space. He was at the edge of the touchline there, and nobody on the other side of the box. Yeah, difficult ask.
Substitution for Tuloy FC.
And here comes a substitution for Tuloy as Aguila and Dayan check in for Diaz and Capistrano. They're going to get 5 minutes and change in this match. Antilo getting involved. And just so difficult to get out of their own half here for Tuloy. Antilo getting his hands to it, but it rebounds off. And Leo Makiling is there to pick up the pieces. He joins in on the scoring party.
And he was the first one. You could see the gap between him and the defender. South was closer to the ball at the start, but Makiling was still ready to pounce on that chance.
Just a bit of ball watching and flat-footedness from the defender, and it's punished. You can see the reaction as well. Ball hits the back of the net. Leo Makiling picks the ball out and is ready to get the game restarted right away. They want to get to double digits. There's a ruthlessness to this Cebu side at the moment.
Definitely on a mission, these boys in red.
Fantastic pass. We're going to spread it. Rizola arrives. Said El Salad finds a bit of room. Shot is blocked. God. Ball has been kicked out of play because there is a player requiring a bit of treatment. And it looks like it's Justin Lupango. The young man has been impressive this season, Lupango, but hasn't been able to get his fingerprints on this match.
And I agree. There's a huge contrast between Pago's involvement in key movements. It's like Cebu was able to find a way to keep him out of play.
Less than 90 seconds in regulation. Antilo was waiting for that ball, but his defenders felt the need to get involved. A bit of frustration here from Tuloy. Ball was kicked away, but there will be no further action. There is a free kick to defend, though.
Cebu can really offer a good delivery there, considering how Cebu towers right now over the defenders.
Is this the moment that they find a 10th? Good delivery, and it is the 10th. Demiroglu off the rebound once again. It made contact with Antilo. And it fell right into the path of the Turkish defender. That's 10 goals unanswered for the home side.
And again, reaction time is key. And so far, Demiroglu being one of the elite players for Cebu, you can have out. But if it comes to reaction time, he's going to be one of those first to the ball.
Cebu scored 10 in their match against Philippine Army, but conceded 2. This time, there have been no lapses defensively. It's been a masterclass against a team that they struggled against quite a bit in the first round, at least for large chunks of the game. They found it difficult, but not on this occasion. It's been the same storyline from basically the first whistle.
And despite the overwhelming aggression coming from the home team, you can still see that there's still a spring in their step. Fitness is on a high.
What's been impressive is their ability to keep their foot on the gas here. Cabral brought down there. Actually, looked like that was a potential penalty. Certainly an arm on the back of the substitute.
Cebu might have something to fight for there, but they're not really gonna contest it as hard as they would.
This scoreline was different. It would be a different story. Remember, in the first round, it was just a 4-0 victory for Cebu. Boy, how things have changed here at the Dynamic Herb Sports Complex. And that'll do it. Full time in Cebu with Dynamic Herb Cebu putting on a masterclass against the visitors, scoring 10 goals unanswered. What a victory. Asano picking up a hat trick, Ramos scoring a brace, Rose with a screamer, Gutierrez with a quality finish from outside the box, and Corre with a nice curler to cap off what was an exquisite display from the home team. Of course, you could also add Leo Makiling's goal and Demiroglu's finisher, both of them coming off of rebounds. It's going to be a long trip and potentially a quiet trip home for Tuloy FC, as they have been really on the wrong end of one of the more impressive scorelines in the Philippines Football League this season.
The domination coming from Cebu, start to finish, choking up any potential opportunities, and Tuloy just never got the signature football that they did. They did show some signs, but they never really had a chance to play the way they play.
Got off to a fantastic start with a wonderful finish from Asano. He doubled that very quickly indeed. And that's what got them going. And then Tambilawan was tested on a regular basis, but the resistance would not hold. Tambilawan getting a nice save there. It wouldn't be long until the third one would find its way into the back of the net, put on a plate for Glenn Ramos. And he would score a lovely finish later on as well. But look at this, great teamwork from the left side. Asano proving crucial, not just in putting the ball in the back of the net, but also in finding his teammates. And what a finish there from Brose. Look at that, into the top corner. In the second half, Glenn Ramos also with another finish. That was really impressive. Makiling did not score on that occasion, but he would get his chance. But all around, it was just extremely impressive, as this was the clincher of the hat trick for Kaito Asano. Gutierrez, look at that. The camera could barely keep up with that finish. And Tambilawan beaten at his near post. Very well taken goal from the midfielder. And they just would not let up. Corey got close here. Actually, that was his finish. It was just a scoring party at the Dynamic Herb Sports Complex. Starters as well as the substitutes really being heavily involved. And this one, Leo Makiling said, thank you very much. It was 9-0 at that point. And there was time even for one more, as they got a set piece not long after that. And Demiroglu had an opportunity there. Actually, you look at that, potential for offside perhaps, but it won't matter in the end. 3 points go the way of Cebu, and they'll be very pleased with their return to their home as they make it 3 straight victories, and this one 10 goals unanswered. So that'll do it for this match, and there will be no prizes for guessing who is the man of the match in this contest. With 3 goals to his name, if I'm not mistaken, an assist as well. The man who will walk away with man of the match is none other than number 10, Kaito Asano. And here are the full-time statistics. Glenn, any final thoughts on this match?
Well, so far, a really dominant and, like you said, a masterclass display from the team that's chasing the number 1 spot in the Philippines Football League. They have dispatched thoroughly Tuloy with the possession, almost not really a line share possession, 53-47, but the number of shots, especially target for Cebu, has been one of the biggest problems that Tuloy has faced. And so far, half of them, or at least half of them, has been converted. So from the numbers itself to the actuals that we've seen, they have really dominated from start to finish. They've made it impossible for Tuloy to even pull 1 goal back, as they sometimes do. And the aggressiveness, they really are out there trying to send a message to the rest of the teams that are vying for first place.
Impressive work from the home team. 22 shots is outrageous from Cebu. And 18 corners as well. It's quite a surprise that Tuloy did not suffer more from that number of corners. But it will be back to the drawing board now for Tuloy. They need to regroup and forget this result as quickly as possible, as they will be returning to action not too long from now. They have an opportunity to refresh the palate as they take on the Philippine Army on the 25th. And meanwhile, our coverage here comes to a close at the Dynamic Herb Sports Complex. And for my partner Glenn Casas, my name is Jing Hamlang. Thank you for watching, and make sure to tune in to more PFL action this evening and on Sunday night. Good night.
Yeah, after the match, so yeah, we are getting 3 points. This is very important. I'm so happy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what about you?
What are your thoughts?
Oh, I'm so happy for Mabusan match again, and yeah, we take 3 points. So this is very important. Yeah, I'm so happy. Yes.
Okay, message to the fans.
So yeah. So change the mind in the next game. We need to take 3 points of all games. Yeah. We need to keep more. So yes, please, so fans and so support, please. Thanks so much.
One more for me.